I'll live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters. Not the mortgage, not the store, not my team and their bullshit. For those 10 seconds, I'm free. But first,
Five God on the beat.
welcome to the Deep Focus podcast. As always, I'm your host, Varun. I'm with the boy, Murad. How's it going, man?
Trying to survive in this heat, bro. How are you?
Man, it is terrible right now. Uh, for those who are not in BC, our current weather situation, we're about 40 to 43 degrees right now.
Yeah.
Some parts of the lower mainland, it's going to feel like 50. I know people from like in the States, people from middle and eastern Canada are like, this is nothing to them because they're used to this sort of heat. We're not. We're not used to this. We
No.
don't need central conditioning system. We don't have that kind of stuff. But here we are, sweating away. It is what it is. We're still recording a podcast. I'm doing it in front of a live studio audience right now because my entire family is downstairs. Because the coolest part of the basement is right here, and hence why I'm in my wife's makeup studio area with the flashing lights and everything. Because my other desk is moved to the side. So if you're wondering, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're wondering what's going on, this is why we're here.
Yeah.
So you might hear some mumbling in the background, things like that. It's just no people are hanging out. As always, you can catch us on all audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. If you're a visual person, you can find us on YouTube, or you can find us on Instagram or Twitter at the Deep Focus Pod. Everywhere else is the Deep Focus Podcast. Uh, uh, Besides the heat, I'm still on fire from watching the Fast and Furious on Friday night.
You know what I was gonna
I
say
can't. Yeah.
I was gonna say you're running through this fairly fast and furiously, bro.
Hey man, I'm a 10-second man, right? I'm gonna get through this podcast as fast as I can so I can get
That's
out of
what you
here.
said.
That is terrible. My mom is around, so she heard that she'd be very disappointed in you.
Yeah,
But
headphones.
so we're here today, obviously, to talk about the Fast and Furious, and everyone knows how dear this franchise is to me. So I don't want to talk about any other movies today, like just the Fast and the Furious. Before we get into that, and before I, express my love and passion for the Fast and Furious franchise, have you been watching anything else at all, Murad?
I actually started watching an anime called Attack on Titan because a friend of mine told me to. And he said it's like Game of Thrones, but without the disappointment. And I thought, you know what, that's what I want in my life. And I know you're not a big fan of anime, but I started watching it, and it's the animation style looks like Renaissance paintings, right? And a lot of anime, there's a lot of like stock photos with like little bits of moving pieces like air or like fire or something. But this, like, I was watching it and it looks like I'm watching Assassin's Creed in front of me happen because it's done in that style. So really, really cool. Really enjoy it. I'm going through the first season right now. Also, Master of None, which I finished the second season of it, which I really like before I move on to the third. So lots of good things that I've been watching. Yeah.
Nice, man. I've I feel like I let the people down. So I one of my favorite reality shows from the pandemic was Too Hot to Handle,
Yeah.
and it is a terrible, trashy but very entertaining Netflix series. Season two actually started last week, and I didn't realize it started last week until the day of.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come on my feed. It didn't. I didn't see it on social media or anything, so I don't know if it's not a popular show, but I know people who are into that sort of reality show were excited to watch it again. And for those don't know anything about Too Hot to Handle, so again, it's a Netflix original. It is a weekly series. They drop a couple episodes a week. I think they dropped 3 to 4 episodes last Wednesday. We have a new set of episodes coming out this Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, there's a bunch of attractive single people on this beach,
Yeah.
right? That alone, you're sunk right in. You're good to go. But the goal of this island and this sort of, I guess you call it a game show, is that with all these attractive single people, you can't do anything about it. So any physical contact, whether it's with another person or with yourself, you lose money every single time. With yourself, meaning right. So with
No,
yourself,
but
do
how
you
do
know
they
what
keep
that means?
track of that?
Huh? There's cameras everywhere. It's a Big Brother situation. There's
In the
cameras
bathroom
everywhere
too?
in the bathroom, the bedroom, everything.
I feel like
Because
that's
of
a
there's no individual bedroom, right? Like it's a one big room where all the beds are there, so
yeah.
they could sort of see each other. And the show starts off with $100,000, and with each sort of contact or anything, it
Yeah.
drops in like intensity in price. Like each kiss is worth about $3,000 to $4,000.
Yikes.
So for kissing someone on the island,
Yeah.
you're costing the entire team $4,000 because that money at the end is split evenly between everybody,
That's so
right?
funny. They just get a
So
bunch of
after so
horned up people and they just say not to do anything.
yeah, so last year wasn't so bad because last year I think there was like maybe two people that was like, okay, the rule breakers. Everyone else is pretty cautious because they want that money at the end.
Yeah.
This year it's a completely different story. Everyone is out for themselves. This is one. So if Eddie Redmayne and a horse had a baby,
Oh.
there's a person named Cam that's on the show that is this douchey, big teeth looking dude that I just want to slap in the face every time I see him. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you saw him too. But he's the one who's causing a lot of havoc. He's been flirting and kissing with a lot of different girls, and there's a couple girls who's kissing with multiple guys. It's not caring about anything. So after a couple episodes, they already dropped like $30,000.
Oh, what? So
So
what? How much? How
yeah.
much is the prize draw?
So again, it starts at $100,000,
100,000. Okay.
split evenly between everyone. So at the end, if it's like $1,000 left, you walk away with like $100 each, right? And that gets taxed because it's American.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, I know. So it's pretty crazy this year. It's a lot less self control than ever,
Yeah.
but it's entertaining as always. It's trash. It's awful TV. If you enjoy awful reality TV show, this is the show for you. Again, if you're the type of person who wants good quality content, this is not for you, right? So you need to be like in a state of mind of not caring about anything in life to be able to enjoy this show.
Oh, I just pulled up a photo of the guy who looks like Cam Holmes, right?
Yeah, Cam Holmes.
Yeah, he does look like Eddie Redmayne
Yeah.
messed
Ed
around
Redmayne
with a horse.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he's British too.
Wow.
And he's British too. So he's
He's
like,
British. Yo, his
yeah.
jawline is popping.
So, so yeah, so that's I've been watching that, and as
Yeah.
always, I'll be continuing the Jane the Virgin. The series is already ended a long time ago. Starring Gina, who has has done a really good job of the show so far. Again, if you're into that sort of dramatic foreign dramatic shows, the soap opera type shows, this is that version of it, but a comedy version of it. Sort of again, not mocking it, but a lot of homages to it. So I do really
Right.
enjoy that. I think we're halfway through season 2 right now, where things are just getting crazier and crazier and more unbelievable. But so I'm definitely enjoying that. But like what we're here to is talk about in the Fast and the Furious. So my quick reaction walking, because I know you, Murad, you haven't seen Fast 9 yet,
I
right?
haven't, no.
Okay,
I haven't.
so as always, you are letting the people down. It's okay. We'll forgive you for that because it's
Come
been out
on,
all.
not this time. I couldn't get
It's
seats.
no.
I didn't want
Well,
to get shit seats.
yeah. So you could have seen it. You could have bought it earlier because I bought it 2 days beforehand and I got great seats. So I don't know what
Did
your
you?
excuse was. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we'll talk about
Yeah,
that later.
yeah. So I know, as always, we have a couple of questions in regards to our movie reviews. As this is not a this is a spoiler free zone. However, in the last 10 minutes, I will be talking spoilers. So I will throw a spoiler warning out before the last 10 minutes. I'll give you guys like a minute to get off everything, so you don't get spoiled by reality shows. Even Murad, if you want to take your headphones off,
Yeah, I
you
was gonna
can.
say, can I take it off too? Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll give like a thumbs up, like, okay, come back in, no problem. But my first reaction
Well, real
walking
quick,
away,
Playboy.
yeah, yeah.
How are you gonna convey to the people who are listening on the on the podcast that it's done, you can listen in again?
No, the show's over. That I'm gonna end the show on that last part.
Oh, you're gonna end the episode on it.
Yeah.
I
So
got
I'm
you.
gonna skip.
Okay,
I'm gonna skip the part review and walk back for it.
got you.
So the first topic, the first question we always have at when we talk about movie reviews is the first instant reaction walking away from that movie.
Mhm.
And I walk away from that movie. Not that I only felt completely satisfied walking away from that movie. I thought it was the most fun I've had in the moment watching a Fast and Furious movie. and
Do you think that
it's not
was?
even close.
Do you think that was
Not
in
even
any
not
part due to the fact that you could finally go back into the theater after so long?
that has nothing to do with theater. If I watch this and like on an iPad in my room by myself, completely
Yeah,
different story, right? It's just that the Fast Nine movie, it tied every again, not spoiling anything. It tied every story created from the first 8 movies into this movie. So it's not really tying everything together, but it's giving a lot of background about different things. Like for example, like we know from the first 8 movies, especially from the first movie, is that Dom goes to jail and he has a criminal record and he went to jail beating someone with a wrench, right? With the wrench. And it's we never knew why. We just know he beat someone up.
yeah.
Maybe it had to do with his dad passing away. We didn't know. But we finally get the reasoning behind it. And we get the reasoning why his dad, uh, his family, his brother, who was in the trailer, so not spoiling anything, John
Hmm.
Cena plays his brother in this movie, has been MOA for his entire life, right? Because of the events that happened from him going from Dom going to jail. So that alone, I was so happy with all the explanations that we got. We got a half-ass explanation where Brian is. I actually was very disappointed in that, and that'd be the spoiler part towards the end. I did not like them bringing Mia and Brian into this. I get why they brought Mia back because it technically is Mia's brother also, right? There's two brothers and sisters, so I get why she was brought into it. But I'm disappointed that she was brought into it because they had to give a half-ass reason on why Brian was
Was
where he
Ron.
was and why he wasn't in the movie. Um, and that could have they could have done a lot better job with that. Just yeah. But other
Okay.
than that, everything else, the action scenes, everything, the space scene was so much more ridiculous than it actually sounds. So before I jump to all these different places and all these cool, amazing things about the Fast and Furious, it
Yeah.
really starts in the beginning when Mr. Nobody. I'm not sure if you remember Mr. Nobody's character, Kurt Russell's character,
Yeah.
where he plays this sort of mysterious FBI agent, or FBI or CIA, but an agent, where he works with Brian, works with Dom to go against Deckard Shaw in the Fast 7 movie. So in the beginning of this movie, he disappears, and you see a video of him falling from like his plane crashing, carrying this dangerous technology that can cause the world to come to an end, right? Because that's where we are with the Fast and the Furious franchise. Essentially controls the satellite and controls everything like that.
Yeah.
But then that's the mission. And the reason why Dom is in this mission because he discovers that his brother might have something to do with it. And that's where the movie takes off.
Mm.
Right? He really had one nothing to do with it. And this movie takes place 4 years after the last movie took place, so it's a longer gap than the actual release dates. But that's where we are with the movie, and that's where it sort of takes off from there. We get a lot of characters who come back, like in the trailers, you see Han coming back. I thought they did a great explanation why on that. And if you listen to any of the podcast before, I want to say I nailed 80% of my theory when it comes to Han. So I feel pretty vindicated by that. And if you remember, Murad, what I said, it sucks. But if you didn't, great. Like, don't go back and listen because I was right on that. And I'm never right about these sort of
Oh
theories.
no.
Uh, yeah. But
Okay.
this is overall like I honestly wish we recorded this podcast right instantly after the movie. It's because I
Yeah.
was gone all in on this. I was just so excited. I had so much fun watching it. Like I texted you after the movie. Spoiler: I'm giving this movie 10 out of 10 because I'm giving this movie 10 out of 10. But I'm also gonna give every single Fast and Furious movie 10 out of 10. Right? This is getting different tens for each one because that's how I feel about the franchise. I hot take: this is the best original franchise ever made, right? Like original, so no source
No
content,
source
not
material,
coming from
sure.
not coming from a book, not coming from a comic book, not based on a true story. It is the best original franchise ever made, and there isn't anything to come close to that. And if you can't think of anything, come at me, bro, because you can't. Right? Harry Potter is great. Lord of the Rings is great.
all source material. Back to the Future.
Was Back to the Future original content? I thought
There
it
was
was
no
based off
book.
something. I thought it was based off something.
Okay, you know what? You keep
Look it
talking.
up.
I'm gonna look that
You
up.
look it up. I thought I was based on something. If that's the case, I know I stand by it. Fuck it. I stand by it. It is the greatest franchise ever because 9 movies later, this movie made almost 300 million before hitting North America. $300 million, and it made 70 to 80 million opening weekend with limited seating and with limited theaters still open. So all theaters are not open yet. So the fact that it's doing these numbers are it's amazing stuff.
It was adopted into a book.
I thought the book came out first for some reason.
No, because they I have the book. It came out as part of a set. But yeah, it was yeah. So it says
I don't
Back to
think
the
it,
Future was a novelization tie-in to the movie Back to the Future. It was adapted into Back to the Future the story. So
I don't take it back. I said
that's fair. It's I watching them all over. So I think one of the reasons why I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of them is because I'd seen them, but I hadn't rewatched them like so close together, right? So I watched the first one, I watched the second one, I watched the fourth one, fifth, and then I forgot and then it's like sixth, and then Tokyo Drift, and then 7, 8, right? So now that I started watching them so close together, I was like, oh, this is so cool because there was a whole world that was building around me, right? I did a Marvel marathon before I went to watch one of the new movies, so I was all involved. Whereas with this one, I didn't really give it the fair chance. So I get it, but it's still so stupid. It's so stupid, but so and it makes me smile. If you can see, I'm smiling from end to end because it's so stupid but so fun.
I went through every emotion going through that movie. Like my jaw was
Okay.
open. I was hitting the ground halfway through the movie. I was on the edge of my seat. I may have cried once or twice during that movie with some references from the previous movies. I laughed. I had so much joy.
Mhm.
That space scene, like I said, like is way more ridiculous than you think it is. Whatever you think the space scene is,
Yeah.
it is way worse than that. But what I did like about this movie, it addresses how ridiculous they are. It addresses like Tyrese goes this whole different whole rant on like how is it in every mission they've gone through, they don't walk away from a scratch. Right? Like he generally believes that he's invincible. Right? So he has this whole theory about how he's a superhero.
Yeah.
So absolutely amazing, man. Like I really recommend everyone to watch this.
Yeah.
Just get back in the theater. Plus, it's air conditioning. Like, why would you want to watch this in the theaters right now?
That's fair.
I was disappointed you can't rent this
Mm-hmm.
because I actually tried renting it yesterday. So
Mm-hmm.
hopes to watch it again. It wasn't available to rent on iTunes.
Yeah.
So with the movie, you have to go in theaters to watch it. Disappointed. I'm disappointed at Universal to, to not bring it back for iTunes. But
But I get why.
well, of
Like
course,
theater
because
revenue
like
is
I said,
insane, and it
well,
all
yeah,
helps them with numbers.
it helps with numbers regardless. Right. The only difference is that the theater lose money. I think the Universal will make its cake no matter what. It's a theater, so will get hurt by this, right?
Mm.
Because the popcorn revenue, the snacks, the concessions, everything like that. That's where
Yeah.
they get
Did
like
you
the
did
hit
you
take.
overpay for your popcorn?
No popcorn, so we hit the VIP theaters. So we got a couple adult beverages right before the movie started. It
Yeah.
was a long day. Ruby and I worked all day, so it was right after work. We got a couple adult beverages. We got like a burger and fries at the
Nice.
theaters. It was nice, right? So it was really nice being in the theater. It was
Hmm.
a kudos to the movie theaters and Cineplex. They're going through, and I'm sure all the theaters are doing this. Their health and safety protocols. Like I think it was a manager that was at the front, literally at the front of the door with two employees, taking everyone's name and phone number down. Right.
Nice.
So in case anything does spread or anything does happen, it's very nice to see that they're still uh, super cautious about everything, super
Yeah.
cautious about the social distancing within the movie theater,
Yeah.
and they've just and it shows that they miss having people there.
Hmm.
Like they got so excited, like oh my god, people are here, and the movie theater was fairly empty, but that's because again, this with the social distancing, you can't sell out a movie theater, right? So like Rupi and I was in the front. We usually take the front row of the movie theaters. There's 6 seats there, right? A reason we do a front row VIP is because it's your seat goes all the way back in the
Yeah.
VIP movie theater.
But you're still
So
looking so high up.
not with the VIP theater set up.
Oh, okay.
Not with the VIP theater setup. It's completely different from that. Like, it doesn't hurt your neck. You're not looking all the way up. Nothing
Yeah.
like that. So the way it works, so they have 6 seats in the very front. When me and I also took the middle seats. So
Yeah.
the two, like the 4 seats essentially on the other side of us couldn't be sold because it would break the social distancing protocol unless the person took the individual seat on the very end. So if I ruined someone's night, I do not care because I had a blast. I
Fine.
enjoyed it, and I really
Come
can't. I
on.
can't. I honestly I tried to buy. I even tried to do a pre-order of iTunes to buy the movie right
Yeah.
away, so I can watch it right away when it comes out. It's not available to purchase yet. 'Cause I'm sure it'll be in theaters for a while. But again, like I like realistically, like I know I said 10 out of 10, but like being real, I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. I thought it would be my second favorite Fast and Furious movie. Walking away from it, I was going through the rankings in my head as one normal person would after watching a movie like this. Think about movie rankings. I think about everything and all the movies again. I will put F9 as my third favorite Fast and Furious franchise
Okay.
because of all the amazing things it wraps up, explains the amount of fun and joy I had during that movie. Is everything with that. It was just such a blast. And I don't remember the last time Rupi laughed out hard during an action movie, right? So it was
Was it
really cool.
funny?
It was more joyful because like the action
Oh,
scenes were so cool and so much fun.
yeah.
It's like when I watched John Wick 3. John Wick 3 took there's an NBA player that was in John Wick 3. His name is Boban. He plays for I believe he plays for Dallas Mavericks still.
Yeah.
John Wick smashes his head with a library book in the library and snaps his neck. I kind of smiled ear to ear and laughed when that happened because it's such a cool way to mess someone up with a book that has so much joy. So I had a similar feeling watching
This.
that movie. It was absolutely amazing.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I recommend everyone to watch it if you enjoy action movie.
Yeah.
It will the Fast and Furious movies will always be as good as you think it'll be. So if you
Okay.
like, it's one of those movies. If you go in there thinking it's gonna be a bad movie, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a bad movie, right? If you're going there looking for a fun time, you're gonna have a blast. So with the Fast and Furious franchise, that's the mindset you have going into it. That's I promise you, you'll walk out with that. And I walked in it expecting the time of my life, have actions, everything, and I got
Yeah.
that plus some. That's why I had such an amazing time watching that movie.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So, but
I'm not sure if you gave your realistic answer. What was it? Not if it's
eight,
like
eight, eight, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I'll give it 8 out of 10 for the reasons I would give at the end of the podcast of why I didn't give the full 10 out of 10 or even
Right.
higher.
Right.
Like right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it is getting 59% critic score, but the audience score is actually at 83%. So my score, what I give to it versus what the audience, I feel like is pretty aligned for similar reasons. I didn't see the comments on why anyone else gave the score I did. I'm sure it has to do with the stupidity and insanity of some of the stunts they have in it, but please watch it. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, like, if you don't know how Rotten Tomatoes score works, 59% isn't meaning that people are giving the movie 5.9 out of 10. That's not what that means. That 59% Rotten Tomatoes score, for those who don't know, means that 59% of critics give it above 60% score. Because to get a
Oh,
fresh score in Rotten Tomatoes is 60%. That's considered fresh. Anything up below 60% is considered rotten. Hence why during the bad movie draft, we did anything that's below 60%, it's
mhm.
considered a bad movie.
Bad movie.
So for the Rotten Tomatoes, it's not that everyone's giving it a 6 out of 10 or something, or 5.9 out of 10. That's not
Yeah.
what's happening. What's happening is that out of 100 critics, 59 critics are giving it a positive score. Whatever the score may be, just
Okay,
giving a
word.
positive score. So that's a Rotten Tomato score. So when you see like Paddington getting 100%, that does not mean everyone's giving it 10 out of 10. That just means that everyone's
Uh-huh.
giving it everyone's giving it a good review.
Everyone's giving it above 60.
Yeah, that's what that
Uh,
means.
I
So the
see.
Godfather, any movies you see, So that any movies you see that with that Rotten Tomato score has nothing to do with that score. That's essentially the approval rating of the people, like the critics. That's all
I
that means.
got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I learned something new. Thank you.
The fact that you just learned this and you do a movie podcast is very concerning. You mentioning that you've been watching the Fast and Furious movies again.
Yeah.
Not that you've watched everything again. Do you have your own ranking, like from your favorite to the least favorite at all, or?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I think the people want to hear them. Then, if you have a ranking,
yeah. I
please.
mean, I don't I have my top three.
So what's
I
the
don't
top
have
three then?
my top three. I still like Tokyo Drift at one because it's the coolest one. They do all the
Okay,
drifting and the cool songs, the neon cars. Love
okay.
it, right? I liked a lot of the callbacks in Fast and Furious, the fourth one.
You okay?
The beginning scene, like it
I I,
reminded me.
I have the Fast and Furious, the fourth one, ranked as the second worst one.
Oh, really? Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Um, I still really like the original, so I'm gonna give the Fast and Furious. Is it the Fast and the
The
Furious?
Fast and the Furious, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know anymore.
so think about it. So,
Yeah, yeah,
of course, like I've gone through my rankings again,
yeah.
and from I'll start from number 1 to 9,
Mhm.
of course, because there's 9 movies.
Let's do it.
I'm not including Hobbs and Shaw in this movie because I still think it's a more of a side movie than anything else. It's a
Mhm,
spin-off movie, so I don't believe it's part of the franchise.
mhm,
But no matter what Fast and Furious movie comes out or anything, Fast Five will always be number one because Fast Five was not only again the best movie, it was a heist movie. It was the most grounded movie
mhm.
since this new era of fast movies started. It was the most grounded movie. It was The Rock's first movie in the franchise, and he was given this sort of this title as the franchise Viagra at the time because when he came in relaunching the Fast and Furious movie. He got signed on to GI Joe. He did
Yeah,
something else too at the same time. The Fast and Furious, the Fast Five movie was the only one that really took off of all the movies he sort of redid. But yeah, Fast Five is number one, no matter what. The Fast and the Furious is number two. I originally tried putting F9 at number two, but it's very hard to put the Fast and the Furious below anything else besides Fast Five because it was the original. It had again everything you want, and every time I watch it, it's a great time. The
yeah,
amazing soundtrack. You got a little flip in the back in the beginning of the movie. You got Ja Rule in it. This is a lot of nonsense and fun in that movie, and I love it.
yeah.
And speaking of most grounded, that is the most grounded movie you can get, or everything, right? Like it took Point Break and put it in cars, and that's exactly what it was.
Right.
Could there have been a better way to solve a case where a bunch of people are stealing and robbing a truck? Probably. Did Brian need to go undercover and start racing? Probably not. But we got
No,
it
but he
and we
did,
loved
and
it.
he did that for us,
He did that
we
for
loved
us.
it.
Number three is F9,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Number four is Furious 7, which is Paul Walker's last movie. Just
Hmm.
not spoiling it, but like the ending is still one of my favorite endings of all time. The
Hmm.
way that movie ended. Then you have Fast and Furious 6,
Hmm.
the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift at number 6.
Okay.
Then we have my bottom two is Fast and Furious and two Fast and Furious. Like that's
So the fourth one and then the second one.
yeah, are the two
Yeah.
worst movies. The two Fast and Furious I just hated.
Why?
Paul Walker trying to
Me ghetto?
talk like Tyrese. That's how I'm gonna say it. Talk like Tyrese,
Yeah.
saying like, "I got it, cuz." I'm like, "Come on, man.
Yeah, when he said, yeah, I said, don't worry about it,
You're
cuh.
you're whiter than a snowflake. Come on."
Yeah, I know.
Like it
I know.
is not needed. at
Yeah, and
all.
the villain was I didn't like that. I forgot his name, but I
Yeah.
didn't like that
Oh, sorry,
villain.
and
It was
sorry, I forgot to mention number 7. So, so 6 is Tokyo Drift. Number 7 was The Fate and the Furious, which is number
okay.
8. Then Fast and Furious was number 4, and
Mm.
Too Fast Too Furious was the worst one
Okay,
by
fair
far.
enough. Fair
And
enough.
even though the driving backward scene was pretty epic in Too Fast and Furious.
Oh, they're driving backwards.
Yeah, so it was him and
Oh, that's
Mendes character that was in the car, and Tyrese in a different car, and Brian was showing off, so he started driving backwards the entire time.
he
It's pretty
drove with
amazing.
looking. He was driving looking at Eva Mendes, not driving backwards. They were still driving
Oh right,
forward.
oh right. I
That's
thought it was driving
okay.
backwards.
No,
It's
because I
okay.
remember Tyrese rolled up. He says, "Was he looking at you? I taught him that trick," and then he drove off.
Uh,
Okay,
amazing.
you're allowed to make mistakes too.
It comes with old age. It's okay.
Come on, dude.
I'm forgetful. I'm a full decade older than you. To do with
You're
that.
still like, yeah, but like it's not like I was born in 1955 and you were born in 45. Like we're still
Just
young. We're still spring chickens, bro. Yeah,
I think we should take a break.
let's do
We'll
it.
come back with Hot or Not, and we'll end off with a spoiler about the Fast and Furious 9.
Let's do it.
What up, man? Now that you had some time to think about your top 3,
Yeah.
can you give the top 3 and not be a little bitch about it?
Okay.
Give
All
us your
right.
first best, second best, and third best. Let's start with number 1.
Number one, still Tokyo Drift. It's just fun. It's cool. The second one, I'm keeping it the original. And then the third one, I couldn't decide if I wanted Fast 5 or if I wanted Furious 7, right? Because it's not Fast and Furious 7, it's just Furious 7. So I'm going to choose Furious 7 because to me, Fast, as cool as Fast 5 was, it started the beef between The Rock and Vin Diesel. And it's kind of like, man, like, to me, that's where like a franchise that could have been really cool and had a lot of really good action stars in it, they started to like feed into their own egos and it started to like branch out. So that's why I'll put Furious 7, but I believe next to it will be Fast 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can accept that.
Yeah.
I can see why Tokyo Drift's in hire a lot of people, but as I was doing my rankings, I dropped Tokyo Drift more and more. I originally had it at 4, and then I
Yeah.
kept dropping it. And the reason I kept dropping it because take away that soundtrack, I don't know if I put it as high.
Take away that one song and I don't think you'll put it
That
as
one
high.
song, I didn't say soundtrack. That one song.
Yeah.
By taking that
Boys?
away, yeah, like take away that one song by the Teriyaki Boys. Like it's still a fun movie.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that, again, not spoiling anything, the Tokyo Drift guys, because everyone knows they're in the new F9 movie. It
Yeah.
wasn't as a quick cameo; they were genuinely part of the movie,
Yeah.
and I did enjoy that. So if you do like any of the characters from the Fast and Furious movies, from the Tokyo Drift
Tokyo
movie,
Drift.
they're in F9
Yeah.
with a legitimate role. So I
That's
do
good.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Everyone had a genuine role in this movie, no matter
Yeah.
what part it is. But man, yeah, I can't wait to watch it again.
One of the reasons why, I mean, yeah, take away that Teriyaki Boy song and it's not as iconic. However, I do like the fact that they did talk about Japanese tuner culture a lot, and
Yeah,
how that was,
yeah,
to me, that
absolutely.
was the coolest part of it, right? Because they're spotlighting, and they've done it before where they spotlighted a lot of like tuner cars. They had the R34 Skylines and all of that, and they had the Supras, but this was like proper. This was what was happening in Tokyo because of the success of the Fast and Furious movies over there, right? So it's a cool little acknowledgement. Plus the cars were shiny and they were doing cool little spins. So as a kid, I was like, this is awesome. So yeah,
Yeah, man, I can't wait for the next 2 final
two,
movies in the
yeah,
saga, which I'm gonna you actually my segue into that into Hot or Not, because
hmm
Hot or Not has to do with the Furious franchise.
Hmm.
So Vin Diesel has come out saying that. So it sounds like the next two movies is a two-parter.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a two-part movie. It'll be a part one, part two. So Fast and the Furious 10, part one and part two, we'll start filming in 2022.
Yeah.
So in January. So they're gonna start filming it right away. So we're only like a couple years away from this series ending, in hopes that we're not getting a spin-off movie of Dom Toretto. By the way, the flashback scenes of Fast 9. I'm sorry for everyone to keep going back into this. The guy who played young Dom, bravo. Like
Okay.
I really felt like they dubbed over Vin Diesel's voice over him to talk that
Oh,
way, but it
okay.
was his real voice. It was amazing. I thought like he captured all the mannerisms and all the it's everything about Dom Toretto, and I thought he did such a great job with it.
Yeah.
So I can't remember the actor's name, but bravo,
Okay.
I, well done.
Good
But
job,
yeah,
that guy.
so hot off the bat with the Fast and Furious franchise filming right away, the success of the movie. I'm a little surprised how the quick turnaround time, but these guys also are not getting any younger, so it makes sense to start getting into it right away. What do you think of it? Or do you think it's too soon? That's my question, to get these movies right away, or do you feel like a year and a half, 2 years between movies is a good call? Give 1 second. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
So, first and foremost, Vinny Bennett was Young Dom's name. So shout out Vinny Bennett for doing a fantastic job from what Varun is saying. I think it is too early, but it makes sense. From all the clips that I've seen of Vin Diesel, he's always writing these movies. He's always coming up with ideas for this movie. This is his brainchild, and he's investing everything that he has into this. So I do think it is a bit early, but it makes sense because he lives and he breathes this franchise. Right? So I'm excited for Fast 9, and I'm excited to see how they wrap something like this up, because it is something that, like I was saying before, and I made a joke about it before, but I think it's going to be a really, really heartfelt movie, right? Like, if at
Oh,
the
I
end of
can't.
it,
Oh,
there's not a lot of.
absolutely,
Yeah, so even if
absolutely.
at the end, like, the last movie, there's like maybe like 30 minutes of action, but the rest of it is just like, hey, we're gonna start to like bring it down and we're gonna start to get really emotional. I'll be like, okay, that's a great way to end it, because the entire movie, you're going along with this family. Are you okay over there?
Oh, my dog. I'm sure anyone can hear this. My dog is going a little crazy in the background, maybe because of the
Oh,
heat. But he's yawning, he's stretching
no.
out, trying to get my wife's attention.
Poor
But
baby.
yeah, it's just so funny. But no, I agree. I think it will be heartfelt. I think it'll be very emotional. I 100% will be crying. I'm a crier. It is what it is. The Furious franchise always gets to me in that way. But especially when it comes to some of the specific stories again that we're talking
Yeah.
about towards the end of the podcast. But yeah, man, I'm all in on this, which is not a shock to anyone.
Right.
What do you got next for us?
I'm sticking to the Fast and Furious theme.
Yo, let's go.
Do you know what I'm gonna talk about or no?
No, I'm really curious. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Vin Diesel, he loves music. Vin Diesel loves like being on stage and singing. He's saying that he would consider making Fast and Furious a musical. Now, I'm not sure how you feel about it, because he loves, like, if you've seen him on James Corden's show, he was like singing and he looked like he was like on extra stuff. So he was so happy singing. I know you're not a fan of it, but he wanted to play Frank Sinatra's character in the remake of Guys and Dolls when Steven Spielberg did it. And I was like, okay, like, after watching that interview, I was like, oh, he's so musical, I get it, right? But I wanted to bring it up because he said he's open to the idea of making it a musical. Now, I'm out on this. I don't know, you are too, but can you imagine? Can you imagine what that's gonna look like?
So you misheard Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel isn't just open to making a musical. He is open to collecting checks, and that's what's all about. I've been saying this for a while now. Like,
Yeah.
maybe he wants to collect that bag. I don't blame him for that. Hence why he's open to the idea of doing a solo movie, doing a spin-off movie, doing a musical. doing a lunchbox, whatever he wants. He's collecting that money, man. Like I hate musicals. I love the Fast and Furious. If those two ever combined, will I watch it? Not a chance in hell.
Come on.
I'd rather take a bullet to the head. My wife is giving me a dirty look because Apollo's being so needy again. He's like, what's Apollo doing?
Fast and Furious is a musical.
Oh, shaking her head to Fast. Rupee's out
Yeah,
too.
Rupee, tell him, bro. Also, if anyone doesn't know, Apollo is his dog.
If no one knows that by now.
No, I don't know. We could have viewers that don't know you personally, bro.
You know what? Yeah, if you're a new viewer,
say hello.
Hopefully, this new viewer there. We're up to 35 subscribers on YouTube. Eh?
Thank you.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's a lot of
35. It's a big deal for us. Well, my wife, Rupee Minhas on YouTube, hit 700. Right?
Bravo.
Because of this.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Rupee, her setup is wonderful.
Yeah. Her setup is she is also our EP, our director, our storyboard person, the writer. She's a financier.
She's everything. She's everything that's not us two.
Yeah, man. You know, I just married her
That's
for the money.
how Varun gets the good graces of his wife.
Yeah. I married her for the money. Right? This is her desk. This is her light.
Yeah. And now he's back in the hot seat.
This is her laptop that I stole during her shift. So I made use the old laptop to last hour of her shift. So I can record this because my laptop's 9 years old and it's like 15 years to even boot up the setup screen. Let alone give me time to download Zoom or anything else. So
Sounds rough, buddy.
It was bad. It was so bad.
But you know what? Now we're here. What do you have next for us?
What do I have next for us? The next thing I want to talk about is the excitement I have for the upcoming movies we have for Summer Blockbuster. So today, being Monday, so I'm going to hear it on Tuesday, but being Monday, we do have a couple movies in progress right now. So we do have Aquaman that started today.
Yeah.
And there's something that I believe you want to talk about more. So I'm first going to say about the movie itself. The movie itself, I am lukewarm as a cop-out. I won't say lukewarm. I'll say hot. It's because it's going to be another action movie. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I enjoy Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Like, well, do I love him? No.
Yeah.
But I enjoy him. He's entertaining. I'm okay with that. He's like a guy's guy. He's one of the dudes where every guy wants to be, every girl wants to be with, right? Like he has that persona about him. Starting from Baywatch and all the way here where he is right now. So one, are you hot on the Aquaman movie being back for a sequel? And number two, the bigger storyline behind Aquaman is the whole situation between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah, so
first the movie. Are you hot in the movie or are you out in the movie?
I'm out on the movie. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one.
Neither was I.
Yeah, so I'm out of the second one. I do get, I think DC should stick to animated movies and just make the best animated like superhero movies anyone's ever seen because they do a fucking fantastic job at it.
DC animations are absolutely amazing.
Unreal. Some of the greatest things I've ever seen in terms of character depth and storytelling. However, the second bit of that is the whole situation with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. For those of you who don't know, they were separated a while back because of domestic abuse allegations that Amber Heard was actually being abusive to Johnny Depp, and a lot of these signs came up very early, not very early on in their romance, but very early on in the divorce proceedings. Her assistants have come out saying, that Amber Heard tried to get them to like take photos or like make it seem like her arm was like bloodied or bruised or something. And her assistants have come out and said like that they were like pressured into doing this, or her makeup artists were pressured into doing this and such. So I find it problematic that she's still in it, whereas like Johnny Depp was blacklisted really fast, right? Like, and there was a lot of times where Johnny Depp had even like shown signs that some like there were problems at home where he would in interviews say, "Oh, I'm scared all the time," but like they would always just laugh it off, right? And now he was blacklisted from Pirates. He was blacklisted from what was the other one that you just said? Uh,
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts, right?
Which which I never, I'm not going to keep it straight. Like I'm not a Johnny Depp fan.
Right.
I don't think Johnny Depp has made a good movie since the first Pirates. I think
Okay.
he's an insanely overrated actor. He's just super weird. That's it. Like if
Yeah,
he's the perfect Tim Burton child. Like that's
for
what
sure.
Johnny Depp is.
And that's why he's
But
in
that, but
a
that
lot
but
of Tim
that but
Burton
that shouldn't.
films.
But that should be the reason why he shouldn't get a movie, not because of his allegations.
Not yeah, and not especially because of the allegations that were then proven false, and then the person who committed the false allegations is still getting work like this, right? And so that's what I have the problem with, because yes, there are petitions, but nothing's being done. Even after proof has come out and videotapes have come out of Heard abusing Depp, right? So that's what I have the problem with. I think she should be removed from the universe. I don't. It's just not really like a hot or not question. But Varun, like, do you have like your 2 cents on this? Because I know this is a very deep and very unnerving topic to a lot of people. But
Yeah. At the end of the day, if you're gonna treat one person one way with a certain amount of evidence, I think it should be equally both sides. That's really it is what it is at the end of the day. If
Mhm.
you're gonna treat Johnny Depp that way, from the same movie studios, because Warner Brothers, they are the ones who run the Harry Potter franchise, correct?
Yes, yeah.
So it's the same universe.
Mhm.
So same studio heads. So it's not like two different studio heads have different set of morals or goals. Because
Right.
Warner Brothers, no, they have the
Does it
opposite,
both? Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting situation because again, like I hate defending Johnny Depp, not because I think he's a terrible person. I'm sure they're both guilty of something,
Mhm.
but the fact that this is happening to one person, the equal part of it just makes no sense to me. Because
Right.
abuse happens no matter who gives it to who. Like whether you're male,
Right.
female, it doesn't matter. If you're the one are inflicting abuse of any sort of kind, equal punishment should be spread around.
Right.
That's my only take without going
Right.
into it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think the same way. But to bring us on to a lighter note, but also like very detrimental if you're a fan of film, um, Tarantino. Did you hear about what Tarantino has said recently?
I forgot what movie he talked about, but he
Okay,
said was it Reservoir Dogs that he was gonna
so
stop filming after that, right? That was the original plan.
no. So he said that he's done making movies after his next movie, and for his last movie, he wanted to remake Reservoir Dogs, right? And he said that he's not going to, and the internet shouldn't, go crazy about him making Reservoir Dogs, but he would like to. He's not going to, but he'd like to. But I want to talk more about what are your thoughts on, because when he was on Bill Maher had said that you're too young to quit. You're at the top of your game, right? And then Tarantino had said, "That's why these are his words. That's why I want to quit because I know film history, and from here on end, directors do not get better." Right? Do you think
Ooh,
Tarantino? Do you
okay.
think Tarantino? A Do you think he's right in that he can't get better? And of course, that's more of an opinion piece. But also, if he was to remake a movie for his final movie, what would you have him make?
So I'm gonna start with the latter question first.
Sure.
So I don't think he should remake any of his movies.
Right.
Like just stay
Of
away from
course,
that.
absolutely. But if
But if you had to remake one,
yeah, like knowing Quentin Tarantino now with his style, like if you saw,
Dusk Till Dawn technically is not his movie. Are we agreement on that? Because he was in it.
yes,
Okay. Because that would be the movie I would remake.
okay,
If I had to pick a movie that he was a part of, but we're talking about a movie he directed, I would say remake. I would like to see a newer modern version of Jackie Brown.
yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs you cannot mess with. I think Reservoir Dogs it was perfect as is. It
Yeah.
was a well told story for a movie that's completely dialogue. We
Hmm.
knew how everything went down without seeing a single scene of it, and
Hmm.
that was the brilliance
Hmm.
of that movie.
Hmm.
With Kill Bill 1 and 2, again, perfect the way it is.
Hmm.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, I don't know how you can touch that one.
It's so good.
Um,
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, Once
yeah,
Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino is much more relaxed Tarantino, right? Where it's not about blood and guts, but he's telling a story about an alternate reality where you're like you're exposing yourself to these people again.
yeah,
So I would say Jackie Brown for that same reason because I want to see more of that storytelling aspect from Tarantino rather than just blood and
yeah.
guts everywhere, right? So I think yeah, I'm completely in agreement with you.
I figure if you could make a sequel, I'd love to see a Django sequel. That'd be a movie I would like to watch because I know Django is a Zorro crossover movie. It's a movie that Tarantino has talked like thrown the idea about around. And if you
Hmm.
could somehow do a Django Zorro movie, some sort of
That'd be sick.
crossover,
Yeah.
I would be all in on that. I think that would be fantastic. Of course, bringing all the same people back, it'd be pretty
Mhm.
amazing.
Okay.
As for Tarantino being at the top of his game or
Yeah.
his status in the game, it's very hard to tell right now. Like I have no way of sort of judging it because you cannot judge box office numbers and how many people watch for as a way to measure a director's success.
Right.
Right? With sports, we see their gameplay on the floor. We see them like on all over social media working out. We've seen them behind the scenes and everywhere. Whereas Tarantino, we don't work with them. We don't see the behind the scenes. We don't get the in sort of
In
game or in
depth. Yeah.
film interviews. So if Tarantino feels like it's time to walk away from the game, I say do it.
Okay.
Because the last thing I want is someone staying around 5 years too late
That's
and
fair.
not being able to bring quality. At the same time, I don't think that next movie will be Tarantino's last movie.
I don't
Creators
think
don't
so either.
creators don't stop creating.
Right.
Right? I'm sure there'll be an idea like Jay-Z retired, Eminem's retired,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan has retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brett Favre has retired like 100 times. And so many people have retired from the game so many times.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle retired, right? Like people
That's
come
true.
back,
Yeah.
right? So the word retirement in the non-corporate world means nothing,
Right.
right? So with him to say it's his last movie, I believe that he believes that.
Believes it. Yeah.
I believe he believes that. I believe it's genuine, but the way his mind works, I'm sure he'll
Come up
have
with
more
something.
ideas to
Yeah.
come up with something and come back. Maybe not as a director for a movie, maybe as an EP, maybe as a director for a TV series,
Mhm.
something. But creative juices will never stop flowing.
That's fair. Okay. All right. Right on.
Absolutely, man. That's all I have for today for Horror Not. Do you have anything else to end off with before I spoil the last part of Fast and Furious?
I don't. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take my headphones off and Varun, you blow your load, bro. You go crazy.
All right. So before you take your headphones off, Murad,
Yeah.
thank you for everyone for listening. If you don't want to know the spoilers for the last part of the Fast and Furious, sign off. I'm gonna spend about 5-10 minutes talking about this. If you're watching, I'm gonna give Murad a thumbs up when
Yeah.
I am done, and we'll
Yeah.
officially sign off. All right, cool,
Sounds
Murad.
good.
Take your headphones off.
All right. Go off, bro.
So if you're still sticking around, I'm wondering if I'm by myself right now. It would be kind of funny if I'm talking to myself and no one else is there. But my issue with the Fast and the Furious 9 or Fast 9 or F9 or whatever you want to call it is a story about Brian. I was so disappointed how that whole situation was handled. So when Mia has come back in the series as she was missing from the last one, since her and Brian technically retired from the game at the end of Fast 7. So Mia comes back because John Cena is also her brother too. And it makes sense why they did that. But Brian was home babysitting the entire time. Like that's the story they went with. Because like that's not realistic. That's not realistic that Brian sends his wife to a foreign country on a mission with her criminal brother and all these other criminals to find this person. It's just no logic behind it, and it makes no sense. and I was disappointed with that. And the way this had that Brian story was just completely upsetting. So I really wish that they handled that a lot better. The part that made me cry was like when Dom homaged Brian, and I thought this scene was beautiful when not when Dom gave this keys to John Cena's character because he mentioned that a person once has given him a 10-second car for a second chance. If you remember that in the first movie, in the Fast and Furious, Brian gives his car to Dom to escape from the police. Hence why he's no longer a cop in Too Fast, Too Furious, because he let a criminal get away with his car. So I thought that was a very beautiful scene, a very heartfelt, perfectly planted. The Fast and Furious tugs at the heartstrings once again. But then at the end, they have the family barbecue, and then Brian pulls up in his car, like it's his very famous, like recognizable car, but there's no one in the car. Obviously, we don't see anybody. It is pulled up to a driveway at Vin Diesel's house in California. I was very disappointed with, like, I just that was neat, but I wish they left Brian and Mia out of it completely. It was very disappointing. That's all I wanted to say. So hopefully you guys do watch the movie still. I loved it. I'm trying to get Murad's attention right now because he's looking up. So guys, that's it. Murad is back, obviously, because I had to somehow grab his attention. I tried texting him, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's it for today's episode. We'll be back on Thursday. We're going to talk a little bit about the whole Britney Spears drama, and then we're going to deep dive into our Conan O'Brien reaction. Very excited to talk about that. I know Murad is. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the flippy flop.
Peace and love. Take care.